please welcome to the stage Miss Leticia Magana.
Make you glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts.
Thank you. Wow, it is so great to be here. Oh my gosh, I have not seen this many Latinos in one place since my family reunion. Wow, and you're probably thinking, who's Leticia Magana? I've never heard of her or her movies. Well, that's okay. I had never heard of SHIP either. I thought I was going to be on a cruise. ¿Qué pasó con esto? Thank you all for being here to support SHIP and the great honorees that we'll be meeting today. All right, SHIP spends a lot of time and has placed top engineers in many areas of government service. The Government Agency of the Year Award is presented annually to an agency demonstrating outstanding support back to SHIP and SHIP Foundation's educational programs. Selection is based on dedication and commitment to the advancement of the society's growth and development, demonstrated partnerships with public schools, and significant measurable and visible assistance to help SHIP and SHIP Foundation in meeting their goals and enhancing the education of Hispanic students and positively influencing them to become tomorrow's science and technology leaders. Here to present this award winner, please welcome back SHIP CEO Pilar Montoya.
I hope you realize that there's a theme that's weaving in today's luncheon, that the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers can't do this alone, as I said earlier. I'd like our IPCs, our corporate council members, if you're in the room, to please stand up, because you have definitely made sure that we have the capacity to do a lot in our community. We also have, thank you, I'd like to also have IBM, Procter & Gamble, Boston Scientific, Exelon also stand. Remain standing. If you're an IPC, you've given a lot to us. Our management committee members, you've given a lot to us. I also want to have our National Board of Directors, you can sit down. I also want to have our National Board of Directors, please stand, and our Foundation Board of Directors, please stand. Round of applause to them as well. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication. You can sit now. I also want our chapter leaders to please stand up. If you're in the room, any chapter leaders, thank you. Thank you. Now, why am I asking them to stand? Because each one of them is joining with us to really make a difference. Each one of them is saying, I believe in our mission. We want to make a difference. The individual that I'm going to introduce to you is such an example of that. Listening to what it is that we want to create, believing in our mission, and saying, how can I make a difference? The gentleman I'm going to call up, I met many years ago, a couple, and he had hosted a women's conference for the women that served in the Navy, and I was honored to be a keynote speaker. It was from that moment that we began a conversation and asked ourselves, how can we work together to make something phenomenal happen? He just came from the University of Texas, Dallas, drove all the way over there, because he was committed to speak to 1,200 kids that we have from middle school and high school at our pre-college symposium. He's committed to making sure that those kids understand that they should graduate from high school and someday become an engineer or a scientist of the future. It is because of this gentleman that today we have the largest grant, a multi-regional 3-year grant that is going to grow our junior chapters across the United States, that has enhanced our Noches de Ciencias, and that is enabling us to mentor children to believe in themselves, to understand that there's a hand to reach out when they go to college. It is my honor to call up a gentleman that I just have a tremendous amount of respect, Brian Persons, who is the Executive Director of Naval Sea Systems Command.
What a morning. Speaking in front of 1,200 young students is really quite an adventure, to say the least, and try to keep their attention for more than, 2 minutes. But we did. But I can tell you the excitement that was in that tent at University of Texas, Dallas was phenomenal. We had at least 4 or 5 young students come and says, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a scientist. That means that our little idea that we started 2 years ago is starting to bloom. And my challenge is that even though NAVSEA was the one that put this together, it was actually the innovation that SHIP came to us. I say, you know, we, NAVSEA, are only as good as our industry partners. So I challenge my industry partners, please join us. Sponsor junior SHIP chapters across the country. Because what I told Pilar back 2 years ago, I didn't want to show up once a year at your national convention, look good, walk away with an award. I wanted to get down into the grassroots of the Hispanic community. Because the Naval Sea Systems Command was having a difficult time penetrating that community because, quite honestly, we didn't understand it. And through your efforts with your foundation and your organization, we're starting to turn that around. We're actually starting to see it. So 2 weeks ago, my boss, Vice Admiral Kevin McCoy, actually had to go brief to the Chief of Naval Operations, Vice Admiral Greenert, our diversity programs. And we told him about our Noche de Ciencias program with SHIP, and he said, wow, that is a best practice. Go get the rest of the Navy to join. Well, while we want the rest of the Navy to join, I'd really like to challenge our industry partners to join us as well, because that's where we make a difference in getting the STEM, penetrated into the community, is going out and working with the families. So even though I'm humbled by this award, it's actually a partnership that's actually kind of made in heaven because NAVSEA and SHIPS is kind of put together anyway. But I can tell you, we see this as a partnership that's going to take us to places where we have never been gone before. And for us, as a large of, we hire about 4,000 engineers a year across our whole command. We see this as an absolute necessity for our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay right there. Thank you. So on behalf of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, SHIP Inc., and the Foundation, we are so honored to recognize you as the Government Agency of the Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay up. You want a picture?
Yes, that way.